Griffin and the Dragon's Song. Once upon a time, in a land where magical creatures roamed free, there lived a musical dragon named Griffin. Griffin's scales shimmered in the sunlight, and his wings sparkled like rainbows. But the most magical thing about Griffin was his ability to create the most enchanting music with his voice. His songs brought joy and peace to everyone in the land, and his melodies were known far and wide.
In a land where magic flows, Griffin's music gently grows. From whispering trees and wind softly, Crystal Cavern's melody. Listen to the world's sweet song, nature's voice where we belong. Moonlit lakes and meadows bright, Griffin sings with pure delight. His heart's a soar, blending sounds forevermore.
One day, Griffin decided he wanted to create the most beautiful song ever heard. He wanted this song to capture the essence of the entire world. So, Griffin set off on a journey to find inspiration from all the magical places he had heard about in stories. Griffin first flew to the whispering forest, where the trees were so old and wise that they spoke to those who listened carefully. As Griffin entered the forest, he heard the gentle rustling of the leaves. He perched on a branch and listened intently. The wind whistled through the branches, creating a soft, soothing melody. Griffin closed his eyes and let the sound wash over him. He hummed along, and the trees seemed to sway in harmony with his tune. Griffin knew he had found the first part of his song. Next, Griffin flew to the Crystal Cavern, a place where sparkling crystals hung from the ceiling and walls, creating a dazzling display of light. As Griffin entered the cavern, he heard a gentle tinkling sound. The crystals chimed as the air moved around them, creating a delicate twinkling melody. Griffin carefully tapped the crystals with his claws, creating a rhythm that matched the tinkling sound. He sang along, and the cavern echoed with his beautiful melody. Griffin had found the second part of his song. Griffin continued his journey to the Moonlit Lake, a serene and magical place where the water glowed under the light of the moon. As Griffin approached the lake, Griffin continued his journey to the Moonlit Lake, a serene and magical place where the water glowed under the light of the moon. As Griffin approached the lake, he heard the gentle lapping of the water against the shore. The sound was peaceful and calming. Griffin dipped his tail into the water and swirled it around, creating ripples that danced in the moonlight. The water made a soft, rhythmic sound that Griffin incorporated into his song. He sang a lullaby to the moon, and the lake glowed brighter in response. Griffin had found the third part of his song. As Griffin journeyed further, he came across a meadow filled with colorful flowers. The meadow was alive with the buzzing of bees and the chirping of birds. Griffin landed in the middle of the meadow and listened to the lively symphony of nature. He joined in, his voice blending with the sounds of the bees and birds. The flowers seemed to sway to his music, and Griffin felt a sense of joy and harmony. He had found the fourth part of his song. Finally, Griffin reached the top of a mountain where the view was breathtaking. From there, he could see the entire land, from the whispering forest to the Crystal Cavern, the Moonlit Lake, and the colorful meadow. Griffin took a deep breath and listened to the world around him. The wind whistled, the crystals chimed, the water lapped, and the bees and birds sang. Griffin combined all these sounds into one magnificent melody. He sang with all his heart, and his song echoed across the land, filling the hearts of everyone who heard it with joy and peace. Griffin's song was the most beautiful melody ever heard. It captured the essence of the entire world, a reminder that music can be found everywhere if we take the time to listen. From that day on, Griffin continued to create enchanting melodies, inspired by the magical world around him. His songs brought joy and harmony to all, and his legacy as the musical dragon lived on forever. And so, Griffin's journey taught him that the world is full of music waiting to be discovered. All we have to do is listen with our hearts.
You just enjoyed A Little Minds Dream Big, original story, brought to you by Camberg Books. Follow us and enjoy our next little big adventure.